Hey YouTubers, welcome back and welcome to the Mustang Project. What we're working on is a 1967 Ford Mustang. This thing originally came as a 6-cylinder C4 automatic. It worked, it ran, it drove. I got it off of a high school kid who was graduating, going to college, sold it pretty cheap, and as such it was as used and abused as you would expect from a high school kid. And then unfortunately I abused it even more by starting to work on it and then leaving it. I bought this car 9 years ago in like 2 months, and within the first few days I stripped the interior out, I took it apart, I was looking into it to do a full good restoration, and then I let it sit. And I wasn't even doing great work. I mean, this was 9 years ago. I'm not an old man, not a young guy either, but I thought I knew what I was doing. I've learned a little bit since then. Like taking a sandblaster. I've always told you to sandblast parts. So I got a little sandblaster from Home Depot, filled it with play sand from Home Depot, and started spraying the inside of the car. Don't ever do that. Trust me. That's not something you want to try and clean up. That's not something you want to deal with, because now I have to do a full interior replacement of this car. I have to do floorboards, inner quarters, wheel wells, everything. I have to do firewall work. I already know that the front end needs work because I needed to do that before I destroyed the interior. But let's give you a shot of how the car sits right now, how we're going to get started on this project, and the plan and goals going forward. So, as you may have seen in my other videos, I still need to clean up my garage space. But there's a car under there. It really is. It's a Mustang. At least that's what those things are trying to tell us. It's got the original, when I took the trim off, is this teal color. It's been painted multiple times. It's been messed with. In one of my moving cross-country trips, I had something resting against the back of it, a box or something, and rubbed through, so you get to see how many different layers there are here. Unfortunately, I'm using it as a workbench right now. That doesn't make it a good thing, but I'm just saying, unfortunately. I know that my goal, because of all the rust in the deck lid, that the deck lid was going to be replaced anyway. I mean, it's completely rusted through up in this corner, and there's a few rust spots throughout, so I didn't mind using the deck lid as a workbench. The problem is the quarter panels were in really good shape. I mean, there's probably some rust if I tear into it, but I haven't gotten that far yet, and that's part of this project. But I've been using this as my workbench, which means even the stuff on the corners are starting to get little dents and pock marks just from me dropping stuff or using it as a workbench. I got to fix that. Now, coming on this side, there's more damage that I caused, which I don't even know if I'll be able to show you. If I move this out of the way, you'll see that rocker down there. Yep, I broke it. I was in a hurry and drove it up onto a trailer without paying attention to where my wheels were, and the front wheel hopped up onto the wheel well, or the wheel guard of the trailer, and then fell back off, and after it did so, it put a nice little dent and ripped that whole rocker up. So that rocker assembly needs to be replaced too. So I've got this fun project car that I'm working on, that all it needed was a little bit of TLC, and what it got was trashed. It got somebody working on it that had good intentions. Good intentions don't make a car feel good, I'll tell you that. So what we're going to do, we're going to get working on this car, we're going to clean up the workspace, we're going to turn the car horizontally here, we're going to start stripping it out. I'm going to catalog all the parts, get everything set up, figure out where all the nuts and bolts are that I took off, and put together a project plan on where we're going to start, where we're going to be, and what we're going to end up with. The goal is to take this 6-cylinder automatic Mustang and turn it into a nice cruising hot rod. I now have a family of 4. When I first started this, I did not. It was just my wife and I, and we have kids. We now live close to the West Coast beaches in Oregon. It wouldn't be bad to cruise the Oregon coast in a Mustang. That's cool. But is it feasible? I don't think so. I'm going to try and get this done as quick as possible, post videos up as much as I can. When I get into the detail, I will do my best to describe what's going on, what I'm seeing, and why if it's either something needs to be replaced or something is being kept. I'm not that worried about the numbers matching because I'm taking a 6-cylinder car and doing what's referred to as a Restomod, modernizing it, modifying it, and restoring it all at the same time. At that point, it's going to have fuel injection, it's going to have better suspension, better steering components, to make it a fun car to drive and a real driving car, as well as being safe for my family. I've got a 6-year-old and an almost 3-year-old now that I want to have safe in the back of this car. Granted, they will probably be, closer to 10 and 6 by the time I'm done, but we'll see. And you'll be right there with me.